Do we really need COVID passports? Welcome to the Elite Thinking Club. I'm Chris Jules Julian, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Liz, Mads, and Michael. You all right, guys?
Hi.
All right. Do we really need COVID passports? I mean, we're gonna have loads and loads of mixed views on this, and we'd like to know what you think at home. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and check out our other episodes as well. But before we begin, I always have to say this, okay? As like a disclaimer, you cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it, and you cannot understand it unless you're willing to explore it. A good debate doesn't get ugly. We may talk of things that make people feel vulnerable. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged because of life experiences, but we're not trying to make people wrong or to incite riot, but simply explore. So welcome to the Elite Thinking Club. Right. Do we really need COVID passports? Guys, like, what are your thoughts on this?
Absolutely not. Yeah. Live our lives. No, we do not need them.
But what's the purpose of it? Like, first and foremost, why would someone even think this needs
control
to be a thing?
And tracking and having all of your information.
But why is that
to give them a reason for spending all these millions and billions of pounds on these vaccines that they shouldn't have done? The fact they spent, what was it, 33 billion, or was it billion or million? I can't remember now.
Billion.
Yeah, 33 billion on this track and trace. It doesn't really work. And then all their friends made these vaccines that they're now trying to sell, basically.
Right. So
I just don't think you need a COVID. I don't think you need a passport for a virus. I'm sorry. I just think that it's just beyond. It's beyond a virus now. I think it's
we really
going
want to know
more down.
what you think at home, guys. So do we really need COVID passports? Like, what is it? Like, what does it actually do? What is it? Like, why would I need one?
It's to prove, like, so the government are saying to clubs and places like that, they can now ask you for a passport to get into their venue.
Show me your cards.
Yeah, so that is basically it. Yeah, they're trying to do
Show me your cards.
Clubs.
But what does it even prove? Like, I have COVID or I don't have COVID? Do I have to show them that?
It proves that you've had your injections.
So it's not even a COVID passport; it's an injection passport.
To prove that you're vaccinated.
But I don't think it's actually a passport. It's like
I think it
proves you're vaccinated.
It proves you're vaccinated, and I think also that you've it has all of your medical, like your updated information on there. So like that your most recent negative test and things like that. So
is this like a legit
the pass,
thing? Is this like,
the pass, they're saying also will contain basically like your medical history and all your information about you, basically. So it's quite invasive, and
But I'm not against it for that reason. I'm against it because if you ask people about the vaccine, like if you've had a vaccination, you can still get COVID. You can still spread COVID. So what is the real difference between me and someone that's been vaccinated?
Exactly.
We can both get it and we can both spread it.
So therefore, the pass is invalid, isn't it, really, if you think about it? Because
it doesn't make sense.
If I were a club owner and I just let all of those who had passes in, yet they can still spread it to each other.
Yeah.
What's the difference from me? Why should I turn away people who don't have the pass?
Yeah. The only difference is if you get the jabs, you got a risk of getting side effects from it. So why should I, a quite healthy person, go and get this jab that might do something? It might not, probably not, but might. If I've got a 1% chance of it doing something, why should I risk getting it when I'll probably survive a COVID? And even if I get the jab, I could either get ill from the jab or get COVID anyway and pass it to people. So because I've now got the jab, I'm going to go to my elderly nan and give her COVID because I'm thinking I can't get it.
What's getting my thought process ticking?
The risks of the adverse effects to me, outweigh getting the jab, because the risks of me actually dying from COVID, it's 99.97% survival rate, for God's sakes. Yeah. So I'd rather take my chances on that than take my chances of possibly going blind or getting, you know, paralyzed or enlarged heart or death.
What's baffling for me and what got my brain ticking a little bit was how it's not reverse. For example, you get vaccinated. Now you have a pass that allows you to go to places. Surely it should be the other way around. Surely it should be like, wait a minute, you're vulnerable. You shouldn't be allowed to places. Do you get what I'm saying? This is my logic. I'm thinking, hold on a minute. Like, you're the one you need the vaccine. You're the vulnerable. I'm not being funny. You should be protected. You should be the one that stays at home. The rest of us, we can go out and do shit. So let us go out and do shit. Like, why are you only putting like the small few allowed to go and do things if they've got a pass to go and do things because they've been vaccinated, whereas those that are fine, like, I'm just thinking about when I go and do my food shop, I'm not going to like it if they turn around and say to me, have you been vaccinated? Otherwise you can't come and shop here. That's going to really piss me off, because I'm going to be like, I'm not a threat. Like,
yeah, you're not.
Yeah, well, it's now open to anyone over the age of 18. Anyone over 18 can now get the vaccinated jab.
Yeah, and there's so many incentives. I mean, they're literally giving things away for free and giving you free food and Uber, and I mean, the bribery is amazing. I've never in the history of my lifetime have I known such advertising campaign on the radios, the posters, you know, it's just mad.
And you know what, the wordplay as well. So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, I don't know if you've seen the advert, but there's an advert out right now of this young black guy who's really enthusiastic, and he's actually saying, I can't wait to get out and see all my friends and do this and live my best life. And
I've seen it.
I'm like, really, brother? Like, why have you sold out so quick?
I know.
How much did they pay you to do that ad? Like, you sold out so bad. And you know, it's quite embarrassing in my opinion of someone to do that, because I think you really have sold out in a sense that you think we're dumb. You actually think we're dumb, but you realize that you're, and this has been happening for ages. Don't even act like it's been happening for ages. We can go really deep into this, like, but yeah, younger generations are so easily influenced by that, and they might think, yeah, he's doing it, so I'll do it, and it's like, it's heartbreaking. Michael,
can I just say as well,
for those that are just listening, you didn't know what we laughed at, Michael just held up a sign saying that I'll sell out for 10k if you're listening to the podcast and not seeing the
episode. It's really bad. There's people that like can't even have it, you know. There's musicians and stuff that can't go on tour because they genuinely can't have it for health reasons, the jab, and now they're having to keep away from all of their bandmates because they haven't got a pass and stuff. And then there's people like Eric Clapton, he had the jab, he was really ill from it, literally, like, couldn't feel his feet, his hands, like, he was really freaked out by it, and he's, you know, took to his social media platforms and said, I'm not doing any performances where you expect people to have a pass, COVID pass, and I will not be performing just to vaccinated people. I won't discriminate against anybody, which I think is amazing, that there's some people that aren't selling out, you know, and they are actually,
let us know what you think, guys. Obviously, like, if you're listening to what we're saying and you're hearing us, just like put in the comments exactly what you think, and obviously unbiased as well. If you don't agree with us, you don't have to agree with us. We're not here to make people right or wrong or whatever. We're just exploring. So if you have a valid point, put it across, because we're going to check the comments. And also, if you haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the subscribe, so you can hear and see future episodes. Right.
You know what I was thinking last week?
Go on, Matt. Go on.
Last week even. Well, I don't really agree with it, but look, if people are having to have COVID vaccines to travel, like, I remember when I went to Thailand, Vietnam, Southeast Asia, I had to have like certain vaccinations to be able to go there. I had to have like hepatitis B, diphtheria, malaria. I had to have like 4 or 5 vaccines, but like, I didn't really question it. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I have to have these vaccinations to go to that country. I guess there's more research, although I never researching them.
But that's
the difference is with those mads, there's specific vaccinations to those countries, but also those vaccinations have been around for years, and the trials that were done on those vaccinations were over 10-year spans. So not like a year or 18 months or a few months, like what we've had with this one. Those ones have had ongoing and years before they were, you know. And how many people have you heard of that's died of having a diphtheria jab or
And I'm pretty sure you're allowed
jab?
to turn them down, aren't you?
You can actually. You can get a doctor's letter, yeah.
And also, don't you die
from
from malaria? Don't malaria kill you?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot worse than COVID.
You can still get it even
survive
if you've
COVID.
had the jab, but yeah.
Malaria will actually like fuck you up. Like you will get mash up, wouldn't you? Yeah, for real. Yeah, get the jab, get malaria jab, 100. But COVID, I'm still going strong. 2 years now we've been living with COVID. Like, I'm not gonna lie, since November. Like, so here's when I found out. Yeah, November. When was it? Maybe 2019. Was it 2019? November 2019 is when I first encountered COVID, yeah? And I was like high-fiving people, big hugs. It was actually at an event with over 200 people strong, yeah? That's when we first started seeing people with symptoms. Then it obviously just, you know, comes to light in like, when was it? Like January, February time. What was it? 2020. But anyway, the reality is, fast forward a year and here we are, still strong. Like, I'm not going to say I'm like one in a however many, but I haven't encountered it. It hasn't actually come into my radar, and I don't know why. I don't know how, antibodies or whatever, or if I'm not like, you know, lip-sync people that have got COVID or getting sneezed on the train or whatever. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I haven't encountered it yet. And, you know, the reality of it is that I'm not getting a jab until I feel like I have to get a jab. If it was like malaria, 100%, give me the malaria jab. But it's flipping COVID. I'm not scared, bro. Like, what? People are surviving this. People are getting it and living with it. So, you know,
I'm pretty sure my missus got
the jab.
I'm pretty sure my missus had it for like 6 days. She was a bit shit, but she lived. She's not had any jabs for it.
I came out of isolation last Monday. Last Monday? Yeah, last Monday I had it till. And it is
I forgot you had it. But you lived though, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm here. But my sense of my smell and my taste hasn't come back yet.
Well, people lose it anyway. My dad didn't have it. He didn't have COVID. He didn't have a sense of taste.
Nice, to be fair, at all. Like, but it was like flu, like, but on a bigger scale. Like, literally, just feeling really ill, like headachy, sleeping. I was sleeping like 20 hours a day, literally, and it just kind of just makes you feel like absolutely just shit in general. It's really bizarre, but yeah, it goes. Well, mine did anyway, and I gave it to my brother, who's been double vaccinated.
So he got it, even though he'd been vaccinated.
He got it, yeah.
What's the point in the vaccine then?
To be fair, he got it and he tested positive, but he didn't get it on the same scale as me. He never lost his taste, his smell. He didn't feel as poorly as me. He felt really tired. Like, oh no, when I mean tired, I mean like it literally makes you like completely out of it.
Yeah, that makes me want to get a vaccine. The fact that he's walking around with it.
Manageable. It's just like feeling poorly for a week.
Yeah.
You do realise, Jules, that because you're vegan, you're actually exempt from the vaccine and you're actually exempt from the pass. And so am I.
You know what, Liz, yeah, when you said that, I was thinking the same thing. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. In my head, I was thinking in my head, yeah, like there's got to be a reason behind this. Like, how is it that so many people I know, how is it so many people I know and some people I don't know that ain't got the vaccine? I'm not saying it, I'm just an observation. This is just me observing, yeah, that my vegan friends have not had COVID. This is just an observation. And if anyone says to me, that isn't a fact, it is a fact. I'm living it. I'm living flipping proof.
When people say to me, you know, when people said, oh, yeah, but, you know, I don't see why they can't have it. Well, there's animal products in it.
I identify as a vegan now then.
Yeah, I absolutely. The amount of statuses when that came out, I saw saying, I identify as a vegan. This is my last chicken on the barbecue. I'm vegan as of tomorrow. It's amazing, isn't it? I think,
look,
you know.
Look, end of the day, like, I'm not trying to push veganism. I don't care. You make your life choices, yeah? The facts are there, yeah? If you're a smoker,
it's just a perk.
If you're a smoker and you know the facts, and you're going to keep smoking, I can't do nothing about that. You're going to do what you're going to do. If you're not vegan, but you know the facts, and you're going to keep doing what you're going to do what you got to do. Like, it's your life. I'm not here to do that no more. I'm done saving people. That's one fact. I'm done saving people. The other day, I don't know who I called to say this, and I get a bit passionate about this, but I was on the phone to someone. Who did I say? Liz, I think it was you.
It was me. I was going to say it was earlier.
Liz, I was on the phone to you, and I was like, I'm done saving people. I'm actually done.
Yeah,
like, what more
agreed.
can I do? What more can I do? So at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. What's right by you, with the knowledge that you know. Okay, with the knowledge that you know, do what you got to do and live your best life. Yeah, but these COVID passports. Let's get back to the topic in hand here. So are they actually enforced? Are they going to be enforced?
Yeah, they're going to be. No, they're talking about.
Right, Michael, you've got.
I've got bits and pieces. I haven't got everything. They're talking about other countries are talking about bringing it in. So the other countries thinking about doing it is Portugal, Greece, Denmark, Sweden, Hungary, Iceland, Poland, Slovakia, Spain, Australia, the US, and Thailand. They're all the ones that are thinking about doing it.
But for what benefit?
It's to sell the vaccine.
It is.
They need to make a reason for the vaccine to be taken off the shelves. They've spent imagine you've put so much money into something and nobody wants your product. So now you need to make a reason for your product to be sold.
Problem, reaction,
And
solution.
when they announced it in France, 4 million people came forward and had the vaccines after they announced that you would need a pass to get into a restaurant, cinema, a shop, to even buy your groceries. 4 million people came and got it. It was coercion.
This is what smacks it for me.
And that's when all these protests started, because the rest of the people that didn't come forward were like, are you actually kidding me here? And the thing is, we've got to be careful, because we are literally losing our constitutional rights. And, we shouldn't have to show passes to be able to get into a shop, to be able to get into a restaurant. We shouldn't have to show passes to be able to go through. We have a passport, from the country that we live in or are born in. We have a passport to be able to go from country to country. We don't need a health passport to show whether we're, our health is good enough for us to basically be part of society and go out. If that's the case,
we'll just create our own.
To me, it seems like it's part of this whole, because China have that whole social credit system, don't they? And they have that pass, and
I've heard about this.
And it's like, it's got all of your medical, and basically what you eat, drink, what you shop, what you spend your money on, what you do for a job, and it literally ranks you in society. And if this is where this is going to go, I'm not saying it is, but if this is the way it's going, then a lot of people are doomed, that have gone out and got this jab, because they might think that actually it's going to get their freedom back, or they're going to be able to travel. But actually, if this pass comes in and it does become like China, say they eat unhealthily, say they spend their money, not very wisely, say they don't have a high ranking job, that pass, if they then go somewhere or they go to travel to a country, they can be denied. No, sorry, you're not good enough. You're overweight. You smoke, you don't earn enough. It could go into, I think this is the start of something that we should be very careful with where we're going with it, personally.
Yeah,
I don't wish to be a part of it.
I was going to say, it's almost as if you're putting your trust into your oppressor. Why would you do that?
No.
It just doesn't make sense to me. It just does not make sense to me. 4 million people in France, when they got told you can't go shop, you can't do this, you can't do that unless you get a vaccine.
You'll need a pass. They went and booked in.
That to me is an ultimatum. And therefore,
you shouldn't be told.
Yeah,
you
why
can have
did those 4
your
million
freedom.
people come
you
together
should be
and
able
say
to
no?
get your freedom. Yeah, well, the rest of the people did. There's been continuous marches and protests in France. They have been going crazy about it. It did get overturned, but I think they're pushing for it again now.
You know what I thought about the other day as well, yeah? I'm going to say this out loud, right? I'm going to say this out loud because I actually know a few police officers, yeah? And I said to them, I am not your enemy. I am not your enemy. I know you personally. But when that line gets drawn, the people that you choose to protect because it's your job and your livelihood, which I totally understand, do not make me your enemy. I'm not your enemy, but I will be on the other side of the line. If you stand in front of... Yeah,
there was a beautiful video, Jules. Sorry.
Go on, Liz, go on.
There was a beautiful video in France of where the police officers put their helmets down when all of the people were protesting, and they clapped the protesters. It was absolutely beautiful, and the protesters were crying, and they all just stood there united, and they said, go, we're not going to stop you, go, and they let them pass. And I thought that was amazing, because they were against it as well. Even though they do that job, they were against, because they're a human being as well. It affects them too, and their friends and family. Sorry, carry on, Jules, what you were saying.
No, I agree with you 100. It's very difficult. I made a song called Kisses of the Sun, and my lyrics, I remember I said the words like along the line that as a soldier, these are the people that I'm supposed to be protecting. I don't want to get to the point where I am then called to go against the people that I'm meant to be protecting. And I understand now from how the police must be feeling, you know? They will get told by their senior officers, who are also told by senior officers, and keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. And it's just almost like, it's really, really heartbreaking, because you realize, wow, when the line gets drawn, you know, you got to make a choice.
It's like the army. They're now in Australia. They're in the streets in Australia. And people aren't allowed out, and people are going out, and they've got helicopters saying you need to get into your house. You know, people walking in the park and stuff, and they've got police and army coming up to them saying you need to get in your house. You can't be out here. It's like over a virus that is 99.97% survival rate. It's just, you know, it's
crazy, isn't it?
I just can't get my head around it.
Next thing you know, they'll make it more and more restricted. Yeah. So have you seen the film In Time? With the time zones, or even like the Hunger Games with the districts and stuff like that. Imagine if you need this COVID passport just to go down the M25 and you get stopped at certain zones. I'm just saying
that's why they started in clubs, isn't it? Because they wanted younger people to get it first, which outnumber us. So then once they get it, then it's only like chipping away at other things. Like, because if they tell me I need it to go to America, then I probably have to do it.
But you shouldn't have to.
No, you shouldn't feel like that. I want to go to America.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
You might not make it though. You might have the jab and not make it.
Yeah.
So I pray that doesn't happen, but you know, that could.
You should just be allowed.
You shouldn't feel that way. No one should feel like, and I've had so many people. I did a research project, and I asked 400 people that I knew and that I met over the past 6 months why they'd had the jab, and only 2 out of 400 said it was for their health. The other 398 people felt coerced, felt, well, I might as well, because life's just going to be harder. So they literally were giving up they were literally okay with just laying back and taking it and not standing up and fighting for the fact that they felt forced to get their freedom back. And there were also people that said they had it just to be able to go on holiday. There were people that had it just so that they could basically go out and be around their family. There were people that answered, well, I just the peer pressure. It's so sad. So only 2 out of 400 people told me I had it for my health, which is the correct answer in my eyes. If you're going to have a treatment of any sort, it should be for your health.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Not for your. And I had people tell me it was for their boyfriend, for their partner, for their family. You should have done it for yourself and for your health. You should not have been made to feel like you should do it for anybody. It's your body.
Yeah, I really want to know what you guys thinking at home, or whoever's watching or listening to the podcast right now. Put it in the comments. Let us know what you think about this COVID passports situation. And, you know, we're what now, like a year and a half on? Like, you know, we've been living this. This isn't like, you know, it happened and went. This isn't like a, I don't know, episode whatever from EastEnders and then you forget about it in a few months. This is life now. Like, I think we should take this very seriously. If this still isn't the topic of discussion at your dinner table, regardless of how boring it might be now, then, you know, you can't brush it under the carpet. Like, this is our lives we're talking about, our future. So, yeah, man, we got to be serious about this. Comments, Mads, Michael, anyone commenting?
None as yet.
No comments. That's all right.
No.
Sometimes people don't want to talk about it. Literally what I just said. But if you haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the subscribe, because we will be doing future episodes on this. And if you want to check out more about the Elite Thinking Club, look at our past episodes as well. We talk about all sorts of stuff that will, you know, get you thinking.
While we're plugging.
Oh yeah, while we're plugging as well. Like we say every episode, if you want to, you can get yourself some of our merchandise, like a hoodie there that Michael's wearing there. Yeah, you can wear us anywhere you want.
Yeah, some socks.
There you go. Yes. Snuck it in there. Boom. I don't know, this COVID thing. You know, there was a part of me that really enjoyed the first lockdown. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll tell you the God's honest truth. The whole world slowed down for a bit of humanity got kicked back in. People really, really realized that we were moving at 100 miles an hour and getting nowhere. And when we all slowed down, we valued more about what we value in life. And it also highlighted to a lot of people what we have that we just sort of took for granted and, you know, really didn't give enough attention. But then, you know, come back out of lockdown, back into lockdown, out of lockdown, back into lockdown. Eventually it's got to the point where it became so normal now. This is the norm now. But I don't
We've got a comment now, by the way.
I don't want people to forget how it felt, what was real.
Okay.
So they're doing. Sorry.
Christine said, I think people with learning difficulties, disabilities, and underlying health conditions, it is important they have the vaccine. You agree with that?
But why though? What is the vaccine for? If people can still,
it's a symptom suppressor. It's a symptom suppressor. It's not a vaccine. It's an experiment. First of all, it's experimental. The trials are still ongoing until 2023, which we all know. You know, with regards to the central banking system, they've got this whole COVID thing down till 2025. That's another conversation. But the vaccines are basically a symptom suppressor. So they basically don't stop you getting COVID. They basically, if you get it, and it was originally for the vulnerable, we were told when the vaccines are available, they'll be given to those with underlying health issues and those that are vulnerable. I had a friend tell me last year that once they've vaccinated them, they'll then creep into everybody else, and everything she said has come true. So yeah, basically they want to give everybody symptom suppressors so that if you do get it, you won't affect the NHS badly by
a good example. Mads weren't vaccinated and she had it quite badly. Her brother was vaccinated, still got it, but got it less. So
yeah,
that's
he had a symptom suppressor.
Example.
Yeah, but my point is as well, Mads has had it. Mads has the best vaccine ever now in her body, which is her antibodies. That is the best vaccine she could ever have. And now, do you know, Mads, if you were to decide to have the vaccine and get that actually you have got those antibodies. So by putting the spike protein in there, if you were then to catch the virus again, you could have it worse than how you had it before because you've already got the antibodies now.
Yeah, I don't see why I would.
I'm coming to sleep in your bed tonight.
Surely someone
vaccine.
Why would someone that's had it need the vaccine? Doesn't make sense.
No.
For passport.
You've got it now. You've got your natural vaccine now. You've got your antibodies.
Yeah, and it wasn't that bad. I would rather have COVID than have the vaccine twice. I don't get it.
I just would worry. I would worry if I had the vaccine. I would worry myself to be ill. I would make myself ill through worry because I would just be freaking out about what was in my system.
Yeah.
I've looked too much into not just the adverse reactions, but what they've put in it. And, you know, I've seen the videos, I've read up on the studies, the articles, and thousands and thousands of people that have been affected by it. And it's just, I would rather risk having it like you had, Mads.
She's answered.
I'm meant to get it naturally.
She said, Maddie's brother has diabetes type 1, so it was a good job he had the vaccine, or I think he would have been quite poorly.
I don't understand how does it have any relation to diabetes? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Well, I think
Basically,
that's meant
those
to
who
be.
are ill, those who have diabetes or who are obese or who have like underlying health issues, whether they've had cancer or having chemo, anybody that's basically got a lower immune system, a weaker immune system due to their ailments, are more at risk when they catch something, anything, any virus, they're more at risk. So whereas the likes of myself and Jules, you and Michael, if we caught something, we're all young, we're relatively fit, you know, we I don't think any of us really smokes or, you know, drinks heavy amounts, copious amounts, alcohols, blah blah blah. So we haven't, none of us have got underlying health issues, so we wouldn't be like you probably, Mads. We'd have it, get over it, be fine. But those who have underlying health issues would have a risk of being hospitalized and possibly fatal because they've got a weaker immune system. Their immune system wouldn't be able to fight it the way ours does. So your brother having a diabetes, if he hadn't have had the vaccine, he may have been fine still, but he had the vaccine, so you know that gave him lesser severity of the virus.
But that's my point in the first place. People, thank you, Liz, for that. It was amazing. And if you guys agree, then obviously let us know. But my point exactly, there is a very small amount of the people that need these vaccines, right? Why stop the majority doing and getting on with their lives for the few? The few should be the ones that make the sacrifice. They make the sacrifice play. They're the ones that should say, I will stay at home so that the rest can go out. It doesn't make sense that you lock down healthy, fit people.
It doesn't, and that's where I think it's more than just about a virus. I think they're using this. They've had so much power and they've taken away certain freedoms which they haven't been able to do for a long time.
You know what I mean?
Our
Like,
history.
I'm not vulnerable. I don't need to go into lockdown.
No.
I'm strong.
They're
Let me
playing
go
it in a
out.
way. They're playing it in a way that if you interact with someone that's weaker than you, you should be responsible for that person.
You're guilty. You're selfish. Blah blah. Yeah. No, you're not. You're not selfish for living your life. And can I just say, if we're all going to continue living like this and we get locked down again in September and October time, and we have a terrible winter because, you know, there's going to be all sorts going on because of the vaccinated or what have you, the unvaccinated, I'll continue to live under house arrest for the rest of our lives, because to me that's not living. To me that's being in prison. Yeah. So what's the point in living if people are okay and complying and living this way? We're not living. We should be doing like what Jules said. We should be living our lives.
Let's talk economy real quick, yeah? The working class person who is fit, strong and healthy and young, able to work, should go and work. If you're vulnerable and you shouldn't be working, then you stay at home. You should be doing, because if you are vulnerable, then surely you'd be on like some sort of health anyway. You'd be regulated anyway. So I don't understand why you would shut down a nation of people, working class people that keep the economy going, who are fit and healthy, and lock them down. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I
lost my job
feel
because
really,
of it.
Yeah, I've got people close to me that have lost their job because they refuse to have the vaccine.
No, I lost my job because of lockdown.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because I was self-employed, and because the sites had shut down, they basically said, bye. But because I was also because I was self-employed, I was literally about 13 days away from like the cut-off. So I got no money from the government. And then I tried to live because I just got tax rebate, because that's what you do being self-employed, which all went on rent. But then I had 6 months later, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to go on UC. So I went on to Universal Credit, which is like £700 a month or something. Then I finally got a job, but then because I earned at the job, when I went back onto UC, they then took that money off me. Because I'm self-employed and got another tax rebate because I'm still self-employed, so they give me a little grant. They then took that money off me. So I basically worked for 3 weeks, got another self-return thing, and all that money got taken off me.
And the worst thing about it is, Michael, if they enforce these COVID passports, a person like yourself, you know, you're kind of forced into getting this. If they said to you, get a passport, you guaranteed a job. You know what I mean? You're not the only one in that position, Michael, and I'm glad that you shared that, because, you know, we're a nation of people, right? There's loads of people probably in the same position or even worse off than you. And it's like, speak your truth. If you are funneled into a vulnerable position like that, then these COVID passports could be the ticket to your better lifestyle, but it isn't a better lifestyle because they got you by the nuts. Then, do you know what I mean? Like, they've really got control of you. Like, if we allow that to happen, if we allow that to happen, then the masses are going to be in a first state of control, and that control is you can't shop here, you can't club here, you can't have your birthday party here, and that shouldn't be the case. No one should be allowed to tell you that. No one should be allowed to force that on you. Like,
it's your human right to be able to go and earn a living. It's your human right to be able to provide for your family. It's your human right to have access to healthcare. It's your human right to live freely.
I'm
sorry.
Remember during the lockdown when they tried to say that you can't have a partner, you can't have sex with someone. You're not allowed to go and see. I was like, behave yourself.
You've got to wear a mask. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me here? I'm sorry.
That's what I knew for a fact. I was just like, no, I'm not having this. You cannot tell someone that they can or cannot be with someone else.
COVID or no COVID, take that mask off your face. Kiss me. Thank you very much. Like,
so
do you know what I mean?
I got a question, yeah? So let's say you need a pass to go into shops, clubs, anywhere you go outside, you need a pass for, yeah? Like a job. So does that mean, and do you reckon, so if you don't want to get a pass, you can't work, you can't go out. So does that mean that they're going to pay for my disability because I can't go out? Are they going to pay me to stay in because I don't want to put a poison in my body?
But that's how I think they're trying to get people. They're literally trying to make people, they are coercing and making people feel like they have no choice.
Yeah.
And that tells me it's not about a virus. Because if it was about a virus.
What is the alternative? So if say I'm a club owner.
They're already doing it. They're already doing it because all these healthcare workers, they're being told so this time last year, people were standing on their doorsteps clapping, right? Oh, NHS heroes. A year on, all these healthcare workers are out protesting for their jobs because they've been told no jab, no job. These nurses that have been working in their field for years, they've done all of their training and they love that job, but they refuse to have an experimental vaccine and they're getting told you're out the door within 12 weeks if you haven't booked it. Somebody very close to me, one of my siblings, is literally going through it right now. They're a healthcare worker and they have been told if they do not get the jab, they will lose their job. And
but
I'm
the jab doesn't stop COVID spread. The jab is just the jab is a glorified paracetamol.
This is why it doesn't make sense. You're right, it is. It doesn't make sense. I don't even take paracetamol for a headache. I just get on with it. So I don't need that paracetamol in me.
But it's just if the vaccine is nothing but a symptom suppressor, why are people losing their jobs over it? It's my choice.
This is my point. If a nurse has it, but she can still pass it to a patient, what is the point? What is the point in her having it? And that's what I don't get.
Human rights, it's your choice whether you want to undergo hardship or not. That's your right. I get up every day, I start that shower hot, and I finish it cold. That's my choice. I want to undergo that. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean everyone else has to. And the point is, if you want to undergo, so let's say for example I don't get the jab and I catch COVID and I suffer a little bit more than someone that does have the jab, that's my choice. I'm prepared to undergo that. I'll do it. I'll suck it up. You know what I mean? I'll just
but it's meant to be for the good of the people.
That's manipulation. That's psychological. No.
But the fact that we can, I mean, I'd understand it if we didn't.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense, and it hasn't from the start. There's no flow to any of this. If you were dating this, if COVID, this whole agenda was a person and you were dating them, how many bloody red flags have there been? Do you know what I mean? Like, how many? Come on, Mads, like, help me out here. There would be so many red flags. And you'd be like, hold on a minute.
So many.
Yeah.
You definitely
they would be known as narcissistic, wouldn't they? Narcissistic, coercive, red flag person. Go away.
This is crazy. Just another way to line the pockets of people that align with the government.
Yeah.
So it might start out a bad thing.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe in all of these every single thing that's been said would come into play, has come into play. I remember us talking last year, Jules, about this, and do you think they'd bring in these COVID passports? This, that, and the other. No, they can't do this, they can't do that. And now look, a year on, here we are talking about it being implemented shortly, and it's crazy. So it wasn't a conspiracy.
Yeah, so for those that are unaware, we actually recorded the very first Elite Thinking Club episode, right? But we didn't air it. You can't listen to it. You just, I've got it saved so that we're going to release it maybe on a 10-year anniversary or whatever, right? Whenever we show it. However, we did an episode and we spoke about this in great detail, and we did conspire. We were like, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. When we release it, we'll look back on it. We'll look back on it maybe like in 2023 when the trials are over and we see actually what's going on, and we can look back on that episode and be like, wow, like we were talking about this. One thing that's going to break my heart, and this is the God's honest truth, is the younger generations don't know no better.
No.
They haven't been wised up to the realities that we've seen. So we saw 9/11. We saw Princess Diana die. Like, we have seen things that have been massive conspiracies, like, but also debunked as well, with agendas behind it and all sorts, to the point where it's like, how can you live it and still not know it? If you live it, you know it. That's my motto. If you live it, you know it, right? It's like...
I think a lot of people are quite switched off to, I don't know, the subconscious, conscious mind. That a lot of people are just switched off to a lot of things, and they're stuck in the system. They're stuck in their way of living and stuff. And I think
it's also what they've been told, because
and conditioned, and they're taught
going back
to trust the authorities. They're taught to trust the authorities.
Going back to another episode that we did on facts. So the media will show what they want to show. Like, I see one today. So it was the presenter, a lady that said, if you don't get vaccinated, you're selfish. Someone that had been vaccinated, but said it's people's choices. So then it makes it look like there's two different opinions on it. But he said very weak arguments for it, and then he got shut down. So it's almost like they put him there just to be shut down.
He's probably an actor. And it was scripted.
I don't know about that. I think they just spoke to someone that didn't really have good views, and then went, "Yeah, he's a good one."
We'll get the weaker one on there. Yeah.
So it looks like they've been given a choice, but they haven't.
That's like at the protests. If they ever have any journalists there, they will literally look for in the crowd. They will literally judge people by the way they're dressed or what have you, or look for like the wackiest looking person, someone punky or what have you, and they will literally interview them, so that then when that's shown, people go, oh yeah, look, it's just mad, mental people going to them.
You did that as well. You did that in your Instagram post.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everybody.
If aliens were to land on Earth and they said, who's going to represent the human race, instead of people like David Attenborough that we put forward, and Leonardo DiCaprio, they will put forward someone like a far right, Cletus from like Simpsons. We're doomed, man. We're doomed. But it is what it is. Right, guys, great episode. I'm actually going to cap it there. We want to know what you guys think. Honestly, if you haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and comment. Let us know exactly what you think about this. Like, do we really need COVID passports?
Can I do a poll right now with us four? So who, put your hand up if you're for them.
Well, no, because I don't want
aliens.
I want the vaccines.
No. Put your hands up if you say no.
I'm not everyone.
I'm not up for it. I've never been on it, man. Since the go, I was like, this is happening. But anyway, like I said, the original first episode of the Elite Thinking Club hasn't been released yet. It will one day be released, and you'll love it, no doubt. It's long as well. It's a good long couple hours. But right.
Hang on, before you go, Christian. So she's saying she can't imagine nightclubs putting them rules in place. I think the nightclubs, etc., will have a lot smaller numbers and lose money. They won't, because there's so many 18 to 25-year-olds that are getting these vaccinations that there's going to be enough people that are going to go there anyway. Sorry, I slipped that tongue.
I'm past nightclubs anyway. I'm past nightclubs, so anyway.
Right.
It's funny how many people ask you as well, isn't it? Like I went to the hairdressers the other day for a consultation, and they were like, made me fill out this thing, and it was like, have you had your vaccine? And then they asked me as well, and I was
I
like, no.
just find that so invasive.
And then he was like, why? And I was like, oh my God, like I hate having to explain myself all the time.
Say you're allergic. Say you have an allergy.
Or do what I see on TikTok. Someone said, when they ask you if you've been vaccinated, you say, how do you shave your genitals? And when they go, well, that's got nothing to do with you, you go, well, nor is my vaccination. I just want to end on this.
Oh man, I love Michael. I love Mike. I love him. Right, guys.
Thanks for my random message the other day,
tip.
Michael.
Top tip.
What was it?
Don't worry, man. Right.
I'll tell you
everyone
off
everywhere.
air.
Thank you for checking out the episode. Look, I'm gonna call it there. Right, guys. From me and everyone else, everyone everywhere. Peace and love. Peace.
Bye.